I am so glad that Juan Dixon is not here right now. I said, I am so glad that Juan Dixon is not here right now. Okay? Now, for those of y'all who may not know who I am Jeremy Speaks, and I am here today to talk to y'all about reciprocity. You know, I'm here to talk about the karma of it all. I'm here to talk about Coppin University and how Juan Dixon is not gonna be there right now. Whew. All right, y'all. That was a good intro, wasn't it? Hey everybody, it's your boy Jeremy Speaks, and I'm coming at y'all again today with another video. And this video is none other than a coverage on the latest news bulletin about how Juan Dixon is not here right now. I said, we're so glad that Juan Dixon is not here right now. Now, for those of y'all who may be living underneath a tree or living underneath a branch, there were some rumblings and a lawsuit that was placed last year by a former basketball player at Coppin State University, who ended up filing a lawsuit against the university and also listing Juan Dixon and the associate, I believe the associate coach that was over the team at the time. And I believe at this point, there has been, some fallout that has happened. Now, we were all trying to figure out what was going to happen from this lawsuit. For those of y'all who may not know what the lawsuit is about, apparently there was a student, and this is all alleged because Jeremy don't know if Juan Dixon is here right now. I don't know. So, and on top of that, I can't confirm or deny any of these things that are being stated within these lawsuits. But apparently, in this lawsuit, allegedly, there was a student who was forced to do things of a, explicit nature with the coach, allegedly. And he was one of the assistant coaches that Juan put in place. And apparently and allegedly, Juan already knew that he had some prior, issues mentally, allegedly. And he still hired him, and then the boy was getting forced to do things orally, explicitly with said coach, and there was an anonymous number being, giving instructions out as if it was a girl that the boy had sent, his explicit photographs to, allegedly. So it was actually, come to find out, allegedly, that the assistant coach was catfishing and took this boy's explicit photos and then forced him and blackmailed him into doing, explicit things orally with him. And then when the boy wanted to stop, he blasted the boy's explicit photographs all over the university. And then the boys let go outside of his scholarship. Now, the thing about it is that the boy, the young man, ended up going to Juan Dixon, allegedly, to get help and to try to get some type of alleviation from the problem that was arising between him and the assistant coach, the one who was, allegedly forcing him to do stuff, along the lines of explicitry that he did not want to do. Right? But Juan shrugged it off, told him to ignore it, and just continued to play ball. But all of this ended up coming to a head, and the boy ended up losing his scholarship, and he's apparently very much mentally scarred from this whole situation, and he ended up filing a lawsuit against the school. Now, this lawsuit was filed, I believe, a couple months ago, but we're just now seeing the fallout. So it's making me wonder, how long were these talks, or how long were the litigations going on to try to get to the bottom of what was happening? Maybe they were going through an investigation this whole time. And so what I'm going to do for y'all, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I say, I'm so glad Juan Dixon is not here right now. I know y'all tired of me saying that. I'm sorry. Let me stop. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm gonna pull this from CBS News. All right, and I'm gonna share my screen, and we're gonna read the headline together. Okay. For those of y'all who may not know who I am, once again, I am Jeremy Speaks TV. You can like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the notifications so you can get, a notification anytime I give y'all this good old content. Okay? Don't front on the boy. Okay? Listen, I'm just here to give you what you need, not give you what you want. All right? So let me share the screen. So we're going to be reading this from CBS News.com. All right. And let me agree to the terms, child. Let me exit up out of here. Let me zoom in. Let me zoom. All right. So it says, Coppin State University parts ways with basketball coach Juan Dixon. And it says, Baltimore, after 6 seasons as head basketball coach, that is, Juan Dixon is out at Coppin State University. Dixon told Stadium's basketball analyst Jeff Goodman the news of his departure. The former Maryland Terrapin star was named head coach at Coppin State back in 2017 after serving as head coach of the University of District of Columbia's women's basketball team for 2 seasons. Over Dixon's tenure, the Eagles amassed a record of 51-131 overall, including a 9-23 record this past season. In fact, Coppin State won the MEAC regular season championship with Dixon at the helm during the 2020 to 2021 season, the school's first since 2023 to 24. 2003, 2004. As a player, Dixon led the Maryland's men's basketball team to the school's national championship in 2002. The school will now look to hire the 8th basketball coach in the men's program. And it's crazy to me, you guys, that this is happening, because obviously we can see that this is not something that's probably happening because of what's going on, on the courts, that is. Because apparently, from what we've been told and what they just listed, Juan was breaking records down there at Coppin State University, even got them to the MEAC championships. But the thing is that outside of the court, it's some things bubbling and going awry, i.e. this lawsuit that has probably ruined his chances of being a coach at the university, and thus, forcing them to have to separate from him. And it's so funny to me that Robin Dixon was saying that, all of this is just fictitious lies. All of this is, fairy tales. All of this was just make believe, because at the end of the day, when it comes to the student who pressed the lawsuit against the schoolhouse, Juan treated that student the way that, Robin Dixon would have wanted her son to be treated. Right? Do we remember that? Do we remember that? Now my question is, what is Juan gonna do now? What is Juan gonna do now, babies? What is Juan going to do now? Is Juan going to get another job at another university? Is Juan gonna go back to the NBA? is Juan about to do? Like, what is Juan about to do? And my question is, if Robin does come back, what is, what's going to be her excuse for Juan Dixon not being in the scenes anymore? Because she can't say he at work. Because according to CBSNews.com and according to Coppin State University, as of March 14th, 2023, Juan ain't got no job. Juan has parted ways. Where is Juan going? What is Juan doing? Why is there an SW? Look, you're focusing on the wrong things. You're focusing on the wrong things, High Vibes. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Focusing on the wrong things, sir. Focusing on the wrong thing. Okay. Now, back to what I was saying. We're going to do a little bit of a rewind, okay? So I wanted us to, get, to have our memories, refresh about the lawsuit that is happening against, Juan Dixon and the, the university within itself, right? So let's get into it. So I'm going to share my screen once again, and this is probably going to give you guys or shed a little bit of light as to why there has been a separation of Juan Dixon from the university. Now let's continue to read. Now this is going to be coming from Baltimore Brew, and it says former player sues Coppin State over alleged SA in blackmail by assistant coach. A lurid scheme of SH and extortion played out under the nose of Coppin's celebrated head basketball coach, a lawsuit says. Now let's zoom in because I want y'all to read this. Y'all gonna read this with me. Okay, we about to get into this. So it says, a Coppin State University assistant basketball coach catfished a player online into providing intimate photos and text, then blackmailed him into videotaping a explicit encounter before publicizing the material when the player resisted further demands for, physicals. A lawsuit filed in Baltimore City Circuit Court alleges. The legal complaint says, by information and belief, Lucian Brownlee, a former guard who served as the director of player development and director of basketball operations, harassed. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, you guys. The former guard who served as a director of player development and director of basketball operations harassed, tormented, and sexually assaulted the player Ivan Williams before publishing intimate material he had obtained from the student. Coppin basketball coach Juan Dixon, who was named in the complaint, allegedly failed to take action when informed of Brownlee's actions. A legendary figure in Baltimore and beyond, Dixon is the former University of Maryland standout and NBA player who Coppin hired in the spring of 2017. Also named in a lawsuit filed last week is Coppin State University, whose official, rather than support the distraught Williams, allegedly questioned him harshly and retaliated against him by withdrawing previously promised financial assistance. The way he was treated was abhorrent, said Williams' attorney. Daniel Downey Epstein of the New Jersey law firm Epstein Ostrov, in a phone interview, said. Now, it goes on to say Epstein said that they were able to build their case despite the anonymous blackmailer purporting to be a third party. Our strong belief is that Lucian himself was the catfisher. So now they're saying that Lucian, who was the assistant basketball coach over these young men, was actually catfishing himself as a woman to take, the explicit photos of said student and then blackmail him to do, explicit things. Even if Brownlee was just a fellow victim of an anonymous tormentor, the minute he became a coach, he had an obligation to report. any sexual harassment, Epstein said, and Dixon, having prior knowledge of issues with Brownlee, according to the complaint, should have never placed him in a position of authority over players, Epstein added. The coach should have known better than to put this person in a position of seniority. The Brew was not able to reach Brownlee. Dixon did not respond to a phone message and an email requesting comment on the matter, nor did the school's athletic director, Derek Carter. Coppin State University spokeswoman Robin McCullough responded to an email by saying Coppin State University does not comment on the pending litigation. Now we're going to do a real quick deep dive into what has happened. So this student who you see right here is Brownlee. So this is the former assistant basketball coach, Lucian Brownlee, who they cannot comment or they cannot find for whatever reason that may be. And this is how this goes. So it says the team's high budget. Coppin at an HBCU in Maryland State University system is known as Morgan State's I'm sorry, you guys. It's a little bit loud in my background. I'm trying to concentrate. Coppin, HBCU in the Maryland State University system is known as Morgan State's crosstown rival. Like many divisions in the NCAA programs, it operates on a shoestring budget, working its players hard. In the fall of 21, or shortly after the events alleged in a lawsuit, Sports Illustrated featured the team in a story about its arduous road schedule, which called a sadistic slate of $80,000 guaranteed games. Dang. This is kind of new to me too, y'all. Now let's skip this because I don't think y'all care about the games within themselves. I think that we want to know about these demands. Now it says Williams says in the complaint that he received a message through social media in the fall of his freshman year from a woman who seemed interested in a romantic relationship. He was quote unquote enticed into sending images of himself to this person of a explicit nature that he believed were private in the context of developing a romantic relationship, the lawsuit says. The online paramour then started blackmailing Williams, threatening to publish photos and text unless he provided more salacious material. The text continued through 2018 to 2019's basketball season, while Williams, in fear of losing his place in the basketball program, his tuition, his room, and board payments, continued to respond to the person messaging him in a futile attempt to appease his tormentor. In the spring of 2019, Williams learned from Coach Brownlee, then a senior who would return the next year as a staff member. So he had just graduated himself, apparently. So he had just graduated. Right? So it's not like he just have all of these years of experience underneath his belt. So he was just formerly a student himself and a part of the basketball team, and then he ended up graduating and becoming, an assistant coach. Like, which is kind of strange because you would imagine that somebody would need some type of, experience to get that to, that tenure to do that. But I guess not. Maybe Juan had a soft spot for him or something like that, because apparently, allegedly from what the lawsuit says, Juan had already known that he has had some issues with Brownlee in the past, but still hired him regardless of that. So it makes me wonder what was the relationship between Brownlee and Juan Dixon, that he would hire this man and then keep him on staff, although, a student is allegedly saying that he's being blackmailed by him. So let's continue. So it says, then a senior who would return the next year as a staff member that Brownlee had also exchanged, explicit content with plaintiff's tormentor. The blackmailer then ordered the two men to have the sex with each other, according to the lawsuit. Williams refused at first. But when he returned to campus in the fall, the blackmailer demanded that Williams record and send a video of plaintiff and Lucian Brownlee engaging in oral sex, according to the lawsuit. Williams complied. Now, it says at some point the father gets involved. Now, it says in December 2019, the blackmailer instructed Williams that Brown Lee was going to coordinate a SEX encounter with him. According to the lawsuit, Williams resisted, hoping his non-response would end the blackmail, prompting the warnings the blackmailer would wild out. So Williams sent videos of himself, but the blackmailer insisted on one of himself having the SEX with Brown Lee, sending repeated messages providing Coach Brown Lee's availability. So whoever was behind this account, which allegedly was Brown Lee himself, was sending Brown Lee's schedule saying, well, Brown Lee is free on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday if you're trying to get it popping with him because I need those videos, right? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is why. This is why. Now, Williams sent video of himself, but I'm sorry, I don't want to read the same thing. Now, it says from this point on, let me see. The back and forth continued through March 2020. According to the suit, by the information and belief the blackmailer was Coach Brown Lee, the complaint says. Unable to tell anyone what was happening and contemplating suicide, Williams told his family that he was uncomfortable with the rampant drug use on the team during its frequent away games. That prompted his father to arrange a meeting with the Coppin state officials, the complaint says, in which Dixon indicated that he was helpless to address the drug issue in a meaningful way and was adamant that the plaintiff should stay with the program. Now, this says past problems known to school, and it says when Williams returned to campus in the fall of 2020, the blackmail and threats continued. This time, Williams didn't respond, and that's when the material used to blackmail plaintiff was published and revealed to members of the team, staff, and the public, the lawsuit says. Epstein says that the material appeared on Instagram and has since been taken down. Ooh, child. It says Dixon directed William to come to practice the next day where the two met, and according to the complaint, Dixon admitted that Lucian Brown Lee was mentally ill or otherwise emotionally imbalanced and that his history was known to the coach. This is crazy. So at this point, it's saying that when Williams came to school after his all of those photos and videos of him were leaked by this anonymous, blackmailer. He had a conversation with Juan Dixon allegedly, and Juan Dixon admitted that Lucian Brown Lee was mentally ill or otherwise emotionally imbalanced and that his history was known to the coach. So that's crazy. So it's almost making me wonder why even keep him at this university if you knew that this was an issue that has been, happening before allegedly. But the complaint says that the school, whose policy on, sexual misconduct prohibits R word, S word, quid pro quo, this for that, stalking, SEX exploitation. Hold on, you guys. All right. Excuse me. But so quid pro quo stated stalking, SEX exploitation, coercion, and retaliation took no action to remedy the situation. So basically they have all of these conducts that are prohibited, but they didn't take any action when the student was seeking help allegedly. Now, Williams asked for an investigation in which, according to the lawsuit, a lawyer for the university further traumatized him with questions about his sexual past and orientation. So now at this point, the student is trying to get help. The student is out here trying to say, we need an investigation to see who's behind this. And they're now at this point questioning his sexuality, further traumatizing him allegedly. Now, this is real crazy. Now, it's cringeworthy the questions that he was asked, Epstein said. Coppin State then terminated Williams' housing and tuition assistance. Epstein says he managed to complete the semester by working remotely, then transferred to another school to complete his degree. So basically, he was targeted, groomed, blackmailed, and then assaulted, and then punished for that. And then they just went on about their business, and then just ended his scholarship, ended his housing, ended his financial assistance, and then he had to go to another school. That's really disappointing, to say the least. And it's no surprise to me as to why now, after this all comes out, why Juan Dixon is not here right now, because I guess he wasn't there for the student either. Where was Juan Dixon during all of this time? This is real sad, y'all, to be honest. And it's very disheartening, to victims all over the world who be going through this type of stuff. Cause it's just not women, it's men too. And men are afraid to come forward because of things like this, where they can be harassed, where they can be, intimidated, demeaned, and then, put on the spot as if they did something wrong and then punished therefore after. It's real sick. And it makes me wonder if the school was just mad that he was bringing it up. Like, was this something that they were allegedly condoning, that they allegedly knew about? I'm so confused. And then my question is this: so now that Juan is out of a job, and I would love to know where he gonna go to next, because I don't see another university touching him after this. I don't see another university touching him after this. Like, where's he gonna go next? And then what are you gonna do, Robin? Huh? What are you gonna do? Bet you wish you would have got that prenup now, don't you? Bet you. I know you did. I know you did. And this is just, all just very disappointing, y'all, to be honest. My thoughts and prayers go out to the victim of this lawsuit. And I am happy that, that the university is now at least finally taking some type of action and correcting, this serious miscalculation of justice and, commitment to student safety. And they're now going to be trying to find a new head coach that actually cares about the well-being of the students on the team and not just points at every single game, right? Allegedly, right? Didn't Gollum help Juan get his job? I don't know. I don't know if that is the case or not. I can't say. The sports world is very contained for women in men's sports. They have all kind of coach and player tryst. Same. This is basically the school saying we blame him. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, y'all. Good evening. So the young man, we don't know what the young man is, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter the young man's sexuality or not. What matters is that the young man was having all of these sexual advances towards him that he did not want and that were unwarranted. And then he was being blackmailed, and then he got his, and then revenge porn released against him. And the assistant coach is on a run allegedly. Nobody can no. Where is Lucian? Lucian, we need you to we need to hear from you. Where are you at, Lucian? Don't you we know you somewhere out here. Where are you at? Lucian Brownlee. Come speak up, please. You ain't vanished into thin air. We know you somewhere out there watching. Where are you? Let me, let's look this up. Lucian. Where's Lucian Brownlee? Where's Lucian? Where is Lucian? I can't find nothing on him. I can't find nothing on him. I can't find nothing about where Lucian is at. Lucian ain't got no social media handles. Lucian ain't got no Facebook. Lucian don't have an Instagram. Lucian don't have a Twitter. Lucian is out here like on the run, child. He on Epstein's Island, allegedly. Lucian, where you at? I only asked about his sexual orientation because I wasn't sure if this was a consensual relationship that went. It was not consensual. That's what was stated earlier in the whatchamacallit, in the lawsuit. It was that it was not consensual. Right? But you guys, yeah. So that is what happened. So at this point, Juan is no longer head coach of head coach of Coppin State University. Juan Dixon is not here right now, you know. So Juan is no longer a part of that, and we can probably attribute that to the lawsuit. And they ended up having to separate ties, with him for the betterment and the reputation of the university, allegedly and probably, So I'm sorry, to any of the students that may have been hurt and affected underneath, the tutelage of Juan Dixon. But, hopefully they get another coach who can give them just the same amount of results with this, twice to 3 to 4 to 8 to 10 times as much care towards who they are as people in their personalities and actual well-being as well. Okay. So yes, y'all. So that's all I really have for y'all. So like, share, subscribe. Tell me what y'all feel in the comments. Tell me how y'all think this is going to, affect Robin Dixon in the future. Is she gonna be broke again? Is she about to be? Are they gonna bring her back? For another season because Juan Dixon is unemployed? Do you think Juan Dixon is now going to be able to have enough time to, to record scenes for her? And come to the reunions now that he unemployed. So let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all feel, okay? And I love every single one of y'all. I hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of y'all day. Drink water, stay hydrated, and understand that you are loved and that you are beautiful and that you deserve to be here, okay? I love every single one of y'all. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful rest of y'all day. I plan on doing the same. Peace.